know? Like, what do you want to know?
What am I doing here?
We need to go into the Capitol.
3 strong men from the East rise from the ashes of censorship and cancel culture. Getting to the bottom of that just got a whole lot weirder.
I looked at you and said, repeat that. You said, I've got to get to the bottom of that. We have liftoff.
Check out what's coming up on today's episode.
Unless you're dumb.
Tracing back to its like.
Is it kind of like the Dead Sea Scrolls we talked about, where somebody threw a rock in a cave
No, it's
and like, oh, here's some scrolls here,
it just kind of popped up out of nowhere. But
like in a thing of rags,
Yeah.
kind of popped up. Hey, what's this? Hey, this kind of looks like Jesus.
you're like, oh, dude, let's put some black. You know,
I mean, I can think, or you can think about it this way. For example, let's
Is
just
this theory
say,
time?
yeah, let's
there-
get some
okay,
story
yeah,
music.
yeah. So what if somebody that did know Jesus took the shroud,
Okay,
right?
I'm
right
tracking.
after he rose, and kept it
because they loved him.
because they loved him, and it was passed on through his family, but they had to keep it secret because of
yeah.
the persecution of all the Christians.
Yeah, because they wanted to
right.
squash that whole theory
just
of,
keep-
of him raising from the dead. Yeah,
and they just kept that as a family heirloom that they passed down.
Dude, I like that theory.
And then centuries later,
And just like that, Byron forgot that he was a complete idiot. And he had to go cut the grass once again because his pants were not on.
Hey guys, real quick before we start the show, wanted to let you know kind of how we do things around here, how we do the podcast. If you've ever wanted to make a podcast, we use Spotify. Spotify's got a platform that lets you make a podcast really, really easy. And then they let you distribute it everywhere and even earn some money if you want a little change, ching in your pocket. And they do it all in one place. And it's for free. That's the exciting part. It's called Spotify for Podcasters. Here's how it works. They let you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or your computer. And then they'll let you distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard. And if you want to take your conversations to the next level, they have really cool features like Q&A and polls. And those are the things that really get people and your fans talking about things. So with Spotify for Podcasters, you can also earn money, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And the best of all, like I said, it's totally free with no catch. Ever since I've discovered it, I feel like the options of the Q&A and the video options and the polls has really let me take the creativity of my podcasting to another level. I highly recommend you give it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started today. Dice Man Enterprises exclusively presents a talk show that will get to the bottom of things once and for all. And now here's your host for Let's Get to the Bottom of That. 3 weirdos on a mic.
Oh, hold on. Welcome into another episode of Let's Get to the Bottom of That. I'm your host, Byron Dice, and I'm sipping on coffee.
Yummy.
Welcome into the studio, the other weirdos on a mic, Jason and Joey.
hello.
I'm back, baby.
I'm back.
Yeah, I don't
He's
know if
back.
anybody gets that reference, but if you haven't heard the rabbit hole, Joey was out on location. He was actually in Miami.
Yeah.
Looking for alien sightings.
Yeah, I
Did you
saw it was they were heavily obscured.
Aren't they all?
There was a lot of cops.
Was it shrouded in
It was,
mystery?
yeah, was it shrouded mystery?
It was shrouded in mystery. And speaking of shrouded mysteries,
Today, I like that segue. Yeah, I was going to touch on a little more of how blurry the creatures were that you saw.
they were blurry, man. You couldn't really tell really anything.
And their genitalia is always blurred out.
Yeah.
Dude, that's how it
Because
always
you
is.
never want to see it.
It was pixelated.
There's a reason why the camera footage is always blurry. The aliens with their technology blur out all the cameras, all the recording devices, in an area.
But why don't they want to be known?
I don't know, man. Maybe. I don't
Are they
know.
scared or something?
Maybe.
That is weird, though. I mean,
Maybe they're insecure. I don't
it's
know.
a terrible video, but there was like, gosh, 600 cops.
Yeah, that's
Why?
what Jason was showing me, the footage of the little blur or whatever, and there's cops all around. I'm like, one of the cops stand up and go, that was a dog running around.
And
Yeah.
also, did you see how quick it was going back and forth?
Yeah.
It was passing through that area pretty quickly,
Dimensional, dude.
dude. And,
Interdimensional travelers.
Yeah.
and also, if it was let's just say it was a person, they're not going to be walking back and forth that much of distance, without the cops saying stop or we will shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it seemed like the way their cars were lined up, like they had a barricade, and that dude was on one side and the cops were on the other. I'm like,
Right, you're not going to walk
what are you walking around
50
for?
feet where there's 400 cops there, and you're walking back and forth. They're going to say, stop what you're doing, or we will shoot. And no one died.
Right.
So
There was just people teenagers out
Anyway,
there with sticks.
this is our fluff.
That was, yeah.
Yeah, this is our fluff. Thanks, Joey.
3 minutes of fluff. That's not bad.
Well, that's where I
hey,
was.
today is episode 69.
Nice.
We're stupid. Forgive us.
Listen.
Forgive us. Please forgive us.
For they know what they do. Listen, actually, I said that yesterday, and I said I'm not going to laugh.
We're
What is
dudes.
wrong with?
We're immature
Okay, stop.
dudes.
Okay, today
All right.
is episode 69. It is the Shroud of Turin. Now, if you don't know what the Shroud of Turin is, we're going to get into it. It is the covering that covered Jesus the Christ when he was in his tomb. And matter of fact, it's just not special to Jesus. Everybody had the same thing. They wrapped people up in tombs. That's how they buried people back then. Well, we're going to get into what is the shroud, who is the shroud, when,
Where?
and where is the
Ooh.
shroud.
I
And
want to be
how?
wrapped in a shroud.
You do?
Yeah, dude. And I want to be buried in my backyard, so I don't have to pay.
Really?
That's true.
Taxes.
Who told us that? Was
I
that you?
did. Yeah, because
That is great information,
awesome.
dude.
Anyway,
Yeah, dude.
that's fluff.
Oh, let me pull Joey's mic up right there.
Pull it up.
Yeah,
oh,
we
there
go.
it is.
There we
Yeah,
go.
and he said, "Yeah, dude." It was like, "Yeah, dude."
There it is.
So I'm gonna go up there.
It sounds better now. It sounds louder.
So I got a lot. See, I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
go
dude,
down on the
my
headphones.
ears
Nobody
are-
cares right now.
God, Lord. All right.
Anyway,
So, Shroud of
Turin.
Of Turin. Turin?
Turin. I think it's Turin.
Turin?
yeah.
Turin? I never
Yeah.
had Turin before.
Turin is, I think that's the location that it's in.
Mm.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's in Egypt.
Exhibited in the Turin
Oh.
Cathedral.
Ah,
And,
Well, let's talk about it.
okay. That
Let's
makes
do
sense.
it.
Let's get
Okay.
into it. Let's get to the bottom of it.
Well,
Who wants to start?
I'll start.
Let's do it.
I can do my levels
Start-
are nice.
start-
my
I'm
gosh.
hearing myself loud, dude.
Ew.
Man, I don't know if you guys want to actually hear what I say.
Okay.
Voice is
Uh,
beautiful.
The Shroud of Turin. So it's a centuries-old linen cloth that bears the image of a crucified man, a man that millions believe to be Jesus of Nazareth. It's one of the most studied and controversial artifacts in history. The shroud is
In human history,
in human history.
not aliens.
The shroud is a rectangular cloth measuring approximately 4.4 by 1.1 meters. It contains the faint brownish image of the front and back view of a naked man with his hands folded across his groin. The man is depicted with a beard, mustache, shoulder-length hair parted in the middle. He is muscular and tall, could range anywhere from 5'7" to 6'7". That's a huge gap.
That's a big gap.
The image is more visible in a black and white negative than
Oh,
it
yeah, I
is
did
in
see that.
natural sepia. Well, that's that black image on the bottom that I have posted.
Jamie, pull that up.
Pull it up, dude. What's with the small pics that I keep?
Dude, what is up with that? I can't even zoom in on that.
Dude,
I don't know.
I need
man.
some
What is-
help, dude.
Good thing we're not live right now.
I know.
What is that?
But
Oh wait, here, view full size.
still small.
not.
Still
Listeners, it's still
It's still
small
the sa-
on a
the-
black
It said
screen.
view full size, and it changed nothing.
It's the same size, man.
Okay, anyway,
But anyway, the negative image was first observed in 1898 on the reverse photographic plate of amateur photographer Secondo Pia, who was allowed to photograph it while it was being exhibited in the Turin Cathedral. So,
the Turin Cathedral.
Yeah.
That's
Where
Catholic.
is that?
That sounds like cathedral.
Catholicism.
Yeah, it's Catholic.
Yeah.
Is that where it's at today?
They always
Are we
take
going to get into that?
Yeah. So there's much debate about the age and the authenticity of the shroud. For centuries, believers have thought the cloth would be the burial shroud of Jesus. Skeptics have proposed various scientific explanations for its origins and features. Here we go again. Radiocarbon dating tests in 1988 dated a corner piece of the shroud of the Middle Ages between the years 1260 and 1390. So there you go. It's radiocarbon dated.
And we know how accurate
closed
that
case. It was 1260. So I kind of wanted to get into some of that.
Well, yeah, just go down the hole.
You know,
And,
you know how I
and,
feel about radiocarbon dating.
No, I forgot.
what am I
How do you
doing
feel
here?
about it?
I don't like it.
It's not accurate.
Well, I heard it's
not accurate.
not true science.
It's not. Well, I mean, it's dating the one constants. You know, especially
Right.
when you're talking about deep time, and two, there's a lot of things that will throw it off, and so you know, there's other examples of more accurate dating measures, like well, we're going to get into it
Okay,
in
let's
this
go.
one.
Well, didn't we? We kind of went in deep dive on radio. What episode was that?
Evolution. Versus
Evolution. Yeah, radio was like
Right.
it's kind of debunkers.
Yeah,
Yeah, we still got to do an episode on dinosaurs.
we do.
I was asked that this week.
I'm
They said, "Do
staying
you have an
away
episode?"
from that one
Somebody asked me, "Do you guys have an
Why?
episode on dinosaurs?" And I said, "No."
because the Stegosaurus controversy.
Yeah, I know.
It's true, man.
Maybe they shot it out. I don't know.
Maybe they have to do it in water. You know, he's just got to like coat.
I like
the,
how you immediately knew what I was talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we've
This-
talked about it.
I'm
on the air.
done.
What am I doing here?
All right.
Yeah. So let's talk about how they dated it.
Let's go.
The most significant scientific attempt to date the shroud was carried out in 1988. Small samples of the cloth were cut from a corner and sent to 3 independent laboratories in Oxford, Zurich, and Arizona.
Wow.
Yeah. Which used radiocarbon dating methods to determine the age of the linen. This technique measures the decay of carbon-14, which we talked about on that other episode, a radioactive isotope to estimate the age of the organic materials. The results from all 3 labs were consistent, indicating that the linen of the shroud was woven between 1260 and 1390 AD. This dating suggests that the shroud is not old enough to have been the burial cloth of Jesus, who is believed to have died around 30 AD.
So carbon dating is saying that it is not Jesus' shroud. That's what the carbon dating is. So let's
Yeah.
just see what other types of dating will conclude.
Yeah. So I mean that's really the only dating that they did. So what they did beyond that point is they brought a bunch of so we'll just talk about the controversies and criticisms of the radiocarbon dating. So the scientific community. So obviously there's always the opportunity of sample contamination. Some proponents of the shroud's authenticity argued that the sample used for radiocarbon dating was contaminated. They suggested that newer material might have been used to repair the cloth. So anytime anyone even touches this thing, it's good. It's got the chance of throwing off the carbon dating.
Sure.
Skewing the dating results. The view is supported by some textile experts who examined the weave and stitching patterns and found differences between the sample area and the rest of the cloth.
Ooh. So it's different type of material.
Yeah, so it's like been repaired and that sort of
And
thing.
restitched. That would make sense though.
Yeah,
People tried to.
Wait a minute. Repaired from the time it was found?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like maybe in 1260 they repaired a portion of it
Yeah, to
that they've
restore
been
it.
keeping.
Which I probably thought it was Jesus' shroud, and they said, okay, we should keep this intact.
Yeah,
Let's repair it. That would make sense. And then it would throw off the carbon dating if
Yeah.
that was an accurate way of, dating stuff.
You know what this reminds me of? You know when you were a kid, you had that favorite blankie.
Yes.
And you just carried it around. It just
No.
got tattered over the years.
Yeah, mine was a
That's what-
space blanket.
yeah.
Wow.
Mine was Scooby Doo. Such a great blanket. I
Yeah.
miss it.
I didn't have one.
You didn't have one?
I just had straw and hay.
Yeah, just
Just
I was lucky to even
Yeah.
be able to sleep in the house.
All
Out
right.
there in the dirt.
Ridiculous.
But another theory bioplastic coating. I know you
Bioplastic?
you guys love the science, man.
No, I do love the science,
Bioplastic coating theory.
Yeah,
Is this
microbial.
theory time?
The shroud's fibers could have skewed the radiocarbon dating, making the cloth seem younger than it actually is.
Everything is skewing it.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like it's very.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Everything throws it off. So some researchers assert that the 1980 texts were inconclusive and more comprehensive, less invasive testing methods should be used to re-examine the shroud.
The shroud, okay.
But of course, no one, it's kind of a one and done on these things. You know what I mean?
Okay, all right, okay. I don't know if we're going to get into this. Maybe my notes. I need to go read my notes. Do we know where we found the shroud to begin with?
I believe I have it in there.
Okay, so I didn't want to jump ahead because I feel like that's an important part.
Where it was located.
Like, where can we reverse engineer it? Go, hey, where did we find this?
Right.
Since we're trying to authenticate
Because if we found it in, if we found it in Oklahoma, and
right,
then it's not his.
That's what I'm saying. Like, did somebody find it in the tomb? Is that a record?
Well, they went to go see the tomb, and there wasn't a man there.
Well, I heard his clothes was folded.
Yeah,
like Jesus was a neat guy. He was like orderly. He folded his clothes up and laid them there.
He's a.
He was like, I'm going to show y'all guys something. I'm not wearing the shroud.
He's like, I'm gone.
But I will fold it up. I'm just not going to wad it up and throw it in the corner.
Man.
Well,
jeez.
And he said, I'm going to leave this here. Hopefully somebody's going to radio date it later so they can prove it's me.
He's a...
which I know it's inaccurate, but we'll see.
He's a god of order,
Ooh,
that's true.
Folded clothes prove the point.
Yeah, that's true. I think he just walked out.
He's just like, let's go.
What clothes? That's a good idea. What clothes did he have on when he came back out? And where did he get those?
His
just supernatural clothes?
No, yes.
He just
if he can make a planet, then he can make clothes.
That's amazing.
But also, think about this. This is how I would come at the tomb. Like, you ever see the Django?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When he walks out.
The D is silent.
Yeah, the D is silent. When he walks out of his chains and he just throws his robe off, that's how I would walk off.
Okay.
Just cheeks out.
You know what I'm talking about.
I get it.
Okay,
I'm all for it.
But see, he had enough dignity to know I'm going to put some clothes on.
Yep.
I'm just not running out of here.
Folded the shroud, laid it on the bed next to him, walked out.
Yeah. This is all theoretical, of course, guys.
He's like, I'm the son of man. Let's get it.
Yeah. Anyway, it's good to speculate. But I mean, no, we have eyewitnesses from the tomb.
Yes, in the Gospels, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I think it was like 500 people. But anyway, back to the shroud.
Yeah, the shroud.
This shroud that's shrouded
is all about Jesus.
In mystery. So, alternative dating methods and studies. So these are some of the other people from the scientific community that have other, I believe, to be more accurate
for dating it.
For dating. So, pollen and image analysis, studies of pollen grains and flora images of the shroud suggest that it could have originated in the Middle East, aligning with the belief that it was with Jerusalem before being moved to Europe.
That would make sense.
Pollen grains and flora. Okay.
Yep. Historical text, artistic representations. Some researchers have tried to trace the shroud's history throughout historical texts and artistic representations that predate the medieval period. However, there is no direct and universally accepted evidence linking the shroud to Indian artifacts or descriptions.
Here's something interesting. We do know that there was a big migration from Israel to the European area, not right after Jesus, but between the medieval times and the Roman times. Remember,
You're talking about when the Empire of Great Britain was in charge,
right? There was, and even before that, when they were during like the Knights of Templar, and they would make way to these places, to Europe and to Israel, and I'm sure that they were trying to keep a lot of the this historical artifacts that Israel had, mainly maybe the Shroud of Jesus.
Yeah, you're right. Matter of fact, I've heard that the Israelites or the Jewish people have been better at recording their history than any other culture out there.
Yeah, and that's why another thing. That's why the Nazis, they wanted to destroy not only the people but
the art.
Yes,
The
all
culture, yeah.
all the art, all the culture, all of it. Very interesting.
That is
Yeah.
interesting because that sounds exactly like the seed war
I don't know that
in
one.
Genesis 6.
Oh, okay.
Tampering
Yes.
with the seed, yeah.
Yeah, because they're trying to wipe it out.
I thought you were talking about big pharma and
Well, that too. They're probably in on it too.
yeah.
Well, in this time, like especially during the which we'll get into this in some of the episodes we're gonna record, but during those times, like the Catholic Church, kind of proving back to your point, there was a huge push for ancient artifacts, like biblical artifacts from the Catholic Church. Like a lot of those guys, it was very, very, very important to them to find some of these things. Like I list a few of them here in a second.
Yeah.
One pertaining to the shroud. But anyway, it was huge back then. The 1400s are like, we got to loop up all this stuff, the Holy Grail and all these deals.
Yeah.
So
You're talking about the Catholic Church.
Catholic Church, dude.
We gotta-
yeah.
We
It
got
was
to get in
huge.
front of this.
You got to get in front of it. Got to collect all of these artifacts, because that's what the Catholic Church does, man.
I mean,
It's
but
like-
after the early church, right? Then Catholicism started to boom. So Christianity was like the entirety was Catholicism until the Great Reformation.
Yes.
Correct?
Of King. Yeah. Not King.
Mm.
Martin Luther.
debatable.
Oh,
We'll
should
get
we have
into
a
that later.
show?
Well, that's probably another show.
Well,
Okay,
we'll
cool,
call
cool.
it the Catholic show.
Yeah, that's hugely debatable. I actually disagree with that
Oh,
wholeheartedly.
really?
but yeah,
Oh, interesting.
Wait a minute. What are you debating?
the
Roman
Christianity
Catholic
as a whole was Catholic, like basically Catholic at that point in time.
Roman Catholic?
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm.
So I think that was like the most, which again, I do want to get into the bottom of that one because that's an interesting topic. But I was actually just watching a documentary on that yesterday or 2 days ago. I don't remember what day it was.
When you were working the 8 hours.
Last week was a blur, dude. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
we
was in
hadn't heard
Miami
from
a
you,
lot.
dude.
Yeah, you
We
guys
have
are
not heard from Joey.
you guys are texting like nonstop. I was like, oh my God, stop. Please.
I want to quit, but I don't.
Also,
Leave me
everyone, we are
alone.
looking for a third weirdo. Right
Yeah, I know.
A new third weirdo.
I was like, I'm getting my cheeks clapped. It's terrible. But anyway,
Yeah, we'll take up that debate at another show.
well, it was talking about the canonization of the Bible and like all those things and like how it transpired. Like a lot of people think that the Bible's canonization was from Laodicea or something like that, 300 AD. Which a lot of scholars and stuff, that's not true. So the Bible's canonization was actually just kind of passed down. So like if you read through a lot of the old people from Laodicea, they talk about the canonization as something like, hey, these books were given to us. Like the canonization of scriptures and stuff was always what it was, like they had the Jewish canonization and then like the New Testament stuff. It was all just kind of given. It's not like there was a group of people sitting around.
Like a council saying,
Yeah.
we're going to put that one last.
Which I didn't know that. That was interesting to me. So they're like, no, this is just the Bible. This is what it is, And then you have like later books where that were written later, like Jude and stuff like that. That were
My favorite book.
yeah. Well, he quotes the Book of Enoch in it.
He does.
Anyway, a little biblical rabbit hole there, but that would be a fun episode for sure. But anyway, scientific community stance, despite the controversies. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you, Rachel.
Many in scientific community accept the 1988 radiocarbon dating results. They argue the proposed hypothesis about contamination in alternative histories lacks sufficient empirical evidence, and that the radiocarbon dating is the most reliable
Oh,
indicator
really?
of the cloth's
Of course
age.
they would.
And of course, the Catholic Church has not taken an official position to the authenticity of the shroud as the burial cloth of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
While it encourages devotion and interest in the shroud, it emphasizes that such veneration should be based on faith rather than scientific.
Sure.
Yeah,
Evidence.
sure.
Yeah.
The Catholic Church has not taken an official position
my
on the
hands.
authenticity of the shroud.
No offense to anybody that's Catholic. We
And
love you
Prince
all.
William was not on Epstein Island either.
It's true.
So, what do you guys think about it?
Which one?
I don't
Epstein?
think it really matters.
You don't care? I don't.
know. I mean, it's interesting that there's an artifact that actually was the burial.
Potentially.
Yeah, but that was out there. I mean, we know that it happened. He was buried in a thing.
Yeah.
Whether this one was or was not doesn't have any bearing on whether I think he, rose up from the dead 3 days later and ascended to heaven.
Yeah, no, I think it's super cool though.
It's super cool to have an actual artifact though, if it is real.
If it is real. Yeah. So I agree
But
with
I
you.
think there's all these scientific communities that are like radio dating. No, we're doing grains and pollen and they're trying to figure out if it was real or not. But that's all I go back to. Well, who found it?
Yeah, who found it?
Where did it come from?
Well, they found it. The first official mention was
it
in
in
the
a field?
14th century by, it's in my notes later.
All right,
We'll
let's
get
go.
to it. But anyway,
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Is like who found it?
you're going to be disappointed because
Is some lady in a
up until the 14th century, there's really not much tracing back to its like.
Is
origin.
is it kind of like the Dead Sea Scrolls we talked about, where somebody threw a rock in a cave
No, it's
and like, oh, here's some scrolls here,
it just kind of popped up out of nowhere. But
like in a thing of rags,
Yeah.
kind of popped up. Hey, what's this? Hey, this kind of looks like Jesus.
they're like, oh, dude, let's put some black. You know,
I mean, I could think, or you could think about it this way. For example, let's
Is
just
this theory
say,
time?
huh?
yeah, let's
There-
get some
okay,
story
yeah,
music.
yeah. So what if somebody that did know Jesus took the shroud,
Okay,
right?
I'm
right
tracking.
after he rose, and kept it
because they loved him.
because they loved him, and it was passed on through his family, but they had to keep a secret because
Oh,
of
yeah.
the persecution of all the Christians.
Yeah, because they wanted to
right.
squash that whole theory
just keep-
of him raising from the dead. Yeah,
and they just kept that as a family heirloom that they passed down.
Dude, I like that theory.
And then centuries later,
So there's some validity to that because I was watching a documentary about this, and some of the other things as far as like dating this shroud I believe is a little bit more accurate is the way they found this shroud was in a pot, and
that's how they stored things.
yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
Well, that's listen, Byron.
it's just funny.
That's how they stored things. And the pot that it was in, that was what they used back in Jesus' time to store things.
Yeah, sure.
Where they found it. And now the pot that it was in also, the way that it was folded and crammed into this pot, it was also, again, specific to when Jesus lived and died. So it's like,
really?
yeah, yep. Not only that, the stitch patterns on the actual, like the original stitch patterns, was also from when Jesus died. No one does the stitching anymore like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
sounds real to me. The heck?
I know, that's what I'm saying, but radiocarbon dating.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
scientifically-
come on.
I know.
You know?
What if the pot that it was stuffed in was the pot he turned the water into wine?
Now we're stretching.
Wow.
That's a stretch, dude.
What?
Wow.
I mean, that just brings it full circle, right?
That's being sorry.
There it is, man. So there's another document that a lot of people kind of put these two together, but this one's not as clear as an image
I haven't heard of that.
as the shroud. So it's the veil of Veronica. According to tradition, this cloth bears the face of Jesus, not made by human hands. The story goes that a woman later identified as Veronica wiped Jesus' face with her veil during this journey to Calvary, and his image was miraculously imprinted on the cloth. The veil of Veronica has been
gotcha.
linked with several different relics throughout history, and its authenticity and existence are subject, again, to debates.
Oh, okay.
So, one thing, scroll down a little bit.
I didn't know. Okay, now I didn't know the background of that. Now that you're saying that, I remember them putting that in the Passion of the Christ.
Yep.
Oh, they did.
Yes.
Oh
now
my
that you mentioned
gosh.
that, I didn't know that was the veil of Veronica.
Oh
The
my
veil of
gosh.
Veronica.
That makes sense. I
Yeah.
remember that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh crap.
There we go.
Now,
making
if I'm
connection.
not mistaken, I got to go back and watch it. Was his mother giving him that, or in the movie, or
Veronica.
Yeah. I don't know who Veronica is.
I mean,
yeah, but I. But I'm saying was the actress that gave in the movie?
Was her name Veronica?
No. I'm saying was it Mary? Did
No, it was
they
Veronica.
portray it as Mary? Stop it.
who knows? According to history, it was Veronica. And then I just
Who is
listed some other
Veronica?
cool stuff, like the Holy Lance, the one that
Oh, here we go.
pierced Jesus' side.
Oh, that thing.
Yeah, supposedly they have that in Rome, Vienna.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Today?
today.
They had
Supposedly,
the Spear of Destiny?
the one that pierced his side, supposedly.
I did not know that.
Me neither.
Where am I at?
America.
America.
Crown of Thorns. Supposedly that was in Notre Dame Cathedral, but it burned up in the fire.
Oh, come on.
Oh, never mind. After which it was moved for safekeeping.
I
So it
didn't
was
know that
not
about
burned.
the Spear of Destiny.
Yeah, you're really caught up on the Spear of Destiny.
I mean, it reminds me of the dial of dysentery.
Yeah, the thing that pierced him and water spilled out, dude. Come on, man. We should take a trip and go see all these
The
things,
dial of
man.
dementia.
Then the holy robe of Trier.
I'll go with Trier.
Seamless robe of Jesus.
Try her. Hardly even know her. Come on, Joey.
Oh my god!
I had to.
What time is it?
I had to.
The robe was seamless, woven in one piece. Again, so that woven in one piece, that's kind of a test to what I was saying about the woven patterns back in its day.
That seemed to be a big thing back then, the seamless robe.
Yeah.
It's like you were from money if you had one of those.
Well, I don't think people can even recreate it now, dude. Like, that's one of those.
I don't even understand how it works, a seamless robe.
It's a sheet.
Is it like a poncho? Is it like a poncho?
There's seams in a sheet, too.
I guess, dude.
What are you talking about, bro?
You know what I'm saying? It's like a
just
poncho,
hole
right?
cut in the center of it.
Yes, just a whole.
It's a poncho.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying they wrap their bodies around with a sheet.
All
I
right.
do, I do it all the
I
time.
wish we
dude.
could go back to those times.
Anyway, there's a sheet in Trier Cathedral
like-
in Germany. Germany.
He's getting on us.
I know. It's too much fluff.
He's like, what is this, dude? This is weak.
Joey's like, dude, I got to get through my notes so I can shut up.
Yeah. All right. So I wanted to get talk a little bit about that Sudarium of Oviedo. That's
Wow,
the
you're talking some in tongues right now.
well, that's the Veronica's veil thing. The thing
Okay.
she wiped his face with. Right?
Sudarium of Oviedo.
Yep. So
Nailed it. I'm not saying that again.
so it's a small cloth measuring approximately 84 by 53 centimeters. Unlike the Shroud of Turin, the serum does not bear a body image. Instead, it's said to be stained with the blood in bodily fluids. The cloth is kept in a special chest in the Camara Santa, holy chamber of the Cathedral of San Salvador in Oviedo.
Spain.
I can't talk.
Oviedo, Spain, yeah.
Oviedo.
Shout out to my Spaniards.
Yeah. That's right. You're
It's mentioned in the Gospel of John, where it's described as the cloth that was placed on Jesus' head in the tomb, separate from the burial shroud, so wiped it, and then also placed in the thing. History and tradition, according to tradition, Sudarium was in Jerusalem until the 7th century to protect from Persian invasion in 1614
Oh, that would
AD.
make sense.
It was allegedly moved to Alexandria, then across North Africa to Spain. It is believed to have been in Oviedo since the 8th century.
Wow.
So here's where we kind of get if you start tying it together. So it's heavily soiled with stains
okay.
and is said to contain blood as well as pulmonary edema fluid,
Yeah, that's
which
right.
would be consistent with someone who suffered from asphyxiation, like crucifixion. Forensic analysis has indicated that the blood is AB type, the same type found on the Shroud of Turin.
Okay.
Correlation, so studies compare the bloodstains patterns on those Shroud of Turin. Some researchers say that the patterns of the two cloths are compatible. Yeah, so again, it's saying
Wow.
it's up to debate.
Well, why is it up to debate if they're the
Pe-
the blood?
sure.
Well,
People-
okay. So the same blood type, but you can't say that that's Jesus' blood type.
Right.
Yeah, because
Because we don't know. Jesus.
because you can't know. It's hard to trace it back. Which I think it's funny, man. Like if this is really his shroud, you know, it's whether they know the truth and they're just openly denying it, or God is keeping it shrouded in mystery on purpose. And I kind of lean more towards that, because there's always going to be an aspect of faith.
Sure.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
always.
Yeah, and I think that's why the science community is like hanging on to the radiocarbon dating, is because they want to not let it be true. They're trying to find every reason for there to be some kind of loophole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, your faith is
So
crap.
so even if we have
we got science on it.
let's just
You're
say we
an
have
idiot.
let's say we have 9 points of data that suggests that, you know what it is his shroud, right? It is.
Yeah.
But they'll
They
say,
wouldn't
oh, no,
believe in
they'll
anyone.
hang on that one of the radiocarbon dating just to validate their own.
Yeah.
Yeah, they wouldn't believe it anyway.
Yeah, their own
And I've
bias.
had, it's crazy to me how many people think radiocarbon dating is like ridiculously accurate. And when you explain to someone how inaccurate it is, they're like, what? What do you mean? What are you talking about?
That's
Like,
what we've been
dude,
talking.
It's like they put their faith in it.
yeah, it's like, bro, look it up. And they're like, holy cow, you're right.
And then
Like, yeah.
and then the science changed every year. It feels like.
Yeah, so it's crazy stuff, dude. I don't know, honestly. This is kind of a weird one.
To get to the bottom of.
Well, to get to the bottom of it, I don't know, because it's like, I feel like you said earlier, like our faith doesn't really, this doesn't matter,
Yeah.
Right.
you know?
It's not contingent
Yeah.
on the.
And
It's not.
Shroud.
It's just nice to know that.
yeah.
Oh,
and,
if there is something out there, that's really cool.
and with the Catholic Church, and like I said, we'll get on this on one of the later episodes, but there was this huge push for these you know, relics, these relics of power, and there's like they're searching for the, you know, like the Holy Grail and stuff, and a lot of that is rooted in paganism.
Because they worship the artifacts rather.
Yeah,
than
they worship the artifacts, you know. So
that
it's
makes
like
sense.
none of this really matters. It is interesting, but I feel like a lot of people get really wrapped up, like even with the Ark of the Covenant, you know, like God's not there, not anymore.
anymore. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I
anyway,
think people are just trying to put a price on stuff.
yeah.
Hmm.
So I don't know. It's anyway. Let me slam through this.
Okay.
It's been numerous scientific, so includes pollen grains found in the cloth, which can suggest the geographical history of the shroud. That's what we talked about, that Middle East. Analysis of the image itself. The image formation remains a mystery. Historical records. This is where Byron's going to be let down.
Oh, come on.
The first certain records of the shroud begins in 14th century in France.
France, okay.
Yep, its history prior to this time is unclear and subject to speculation. Some believe the shroud was in existence and venerated in various locations before the 14th century, but there's no definitive historical evidence to confirm this.
And that's a big gap from
yeah.
first century to the 14th.
Well,
That's a
what do
big
you
gap.
mean? I'm disappointed.
Well, that's the history.
Yeah, you can't go. I mean, you asked the
Well,
question
you just mentioned you found it in a pot.
Yes, but the pot, that's what I'm saying. There's no definitive historical evidence. It's a pot that they used back in those times.
Yeah. But who found it?
but there's no smoking gun.
Yeah, there's no
We don't
smoking
have a
gun.
person that pulled this out and said, hey, I found the shroud.
They didn't go like on video. Hey, look what I found.
It's the shroud. He didn't throw a rock into a cave,
Oh, they didn't?
you know?
But so we don't have a name of somebody that brought this forward.
No.
It just
No.
it just kind of appeared out of nowhere.
Appeared out of thin air. Dude.
And we don't even know the first historical person that put their hands on
Let
it.
me see if I can find that real quick.
That's interesting. Like I said, I think that it could have been passed down.
Let me see if I got that in my notes.
I just think it could have been passed down through generations through a family. And let's just say an old man, an old farmer had it in his pot from, that time passed down. It could have been. That's
an
plausible.
old farmer had it in a pot.
Just, something that's kept through the family.
Let me see. The Shroud of Turin, a centuries old linen cloth. I like that, linen cloth. Believed by many to be the burial shroud of Jesus. Okay, you said that. It's been a long subject of fascination, debate, and controversy. Yes.
Oh, here it is.
Oh, you got it. Here we
It's
go.
associated with a French knight named Geoffroy de Charny.
Wow, those names.
Geoffroy Charny is the earliest recorded owner of the shroud, whose name is known with certainty. He's documented as having the shroud in his possession in the mid-14th century. In 1353, he founded a church at Liry, France, where the shroud was first publicly displayed. It is not known how de Charny came into possession of the shroud. He did not claim to have found it himself.
But he did have it in his possession.
He did have it in his possession.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I would have... See, where are the reporters back then? I would have been drilling this dude.
Says after his death, the shroud passed through various hands, including members of his family in the House of Savoy, and eventually made its way to its current location in Turin, Italy.
Oh, okay. That's where they get the name. Turin.
Yeah, the shroud
It's
in
in
Turin,
Italy.
Italy.
The Shroud of Turin housed in the Cathedral of St. John the Baptist in Turin.
So it just popped up out of nowhere, dude.
Come on.
It just came
Why
up.
didn't they interview this dude?
It's kind of like you. It
said
just
four-
popped
you
up
said
out of a
14th
hole.
century?
Yeah.
Dude,
13.
what are you
I'm
saying
sticking.
here?
I'm
What are you
sticking
saying
with
here?
that. It is, and I'm sticking with the theory that it was taken by the Knights of Templar, and it was passed down from
and the
Knights
Knights kept it safe?
And the Knights kept saying it was passed down, and it was given to that knight, possibly.
Yeah.
You said he was a
okay,
knight?
so because
Yeah.
I just looked, because I wanted to know when the time frame when the Knights of Templar were active, and the mid 13th century.
Mid 13th century.
Yeah. So
That was, it was about the same. That's about
so
the time.
I mean, come on.
That's wow.
Yeah, dude. And one of their roles was to protect the culture.
Yeah.
That was one of their roles.
Yeah, the Knights Templar.
So, dude, I'm telling you, if it was a knight that was,
And they were all about artifacts, dude.
Yes, they were.
They were all about
Yes,
it.
they were.
And it's weird because even that other shroud, or the veil face.
So
thing,
listen- Listeners-
Veronica's veil, that was around the same time too.
Dude, yeah. So,
So
I
that
mean,
lines up.
if our listeners want to get a better like in-depth scope of the Knights of Templar, we do have that episode posted.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, no, it's not shameless.
No, I have no shame.
No, no shame at all.
Wait a minute, that is shameless.
Yeah, it is shameless.
That's what I just said.
I'm not.
I,
What's the opposite?
No,
of
but seriously
shameless?
Shameful.
I'm okay. Shameful plug.
so no, but seriously, no, because we dug
Oh yeah,
deep.
we
into
dug
Knights
deep
of
on the
Templar.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I actually
mean-
did research on that one.
You did. I was blown away. I'm like, dang.
yeah,
Jason's into it.
yeah. And if you go back to that episode, what was amazing to me is how they disbanded and they just popped up in another area and started growing again.
Yeah.
Or maybe one of the knights there had it.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. I'm going with it. It was Knights of Templar.
I like that theory.
Yeah.
It's a good theory. I don't have anything against it.
Let me see. Let's see. Origins and early documentation. We covered that. Pilgrimage is in public display. The shroud has been publicly displayed intermittently, drawing pilgrims from around the world. Scientific, we went over this.
Boo, who cares about
Radiocarbon
that?
imaging analysis, theological perspectives. We went over that. Yeah, it probably holds deep religious significance for most Christians because that's their savior that was wrapped in the linen.
Right.
In conclusion, we hope we provided a comprehensive overview of the Shroud of Turin,
I think we did.
combining historical, scientific, and theological perspectives. While debates about its authenticity persist, the shroud remains a unique fact that continues to captivate the imagination of scholars, scientists, and the faithful alike. Further research and open dialogue are essential for advancing our understanding of this enigmatic relic.
Man. Rachel, help us. Rachel, please help us.
Franks and beans.
I just want to quickly go and see if we have briefly touched on these points here.
Yeah, let's
okay?
touch on it, man.
Did we introduce the shroud?
I think we did.
We did. It's a century old. And we discussed the mystery and the controversy around it. Okay. It's got biblical and historical background.
Oh, yeah, dude.
14th century got it. Radiocarbon dating, come on.
Right, dude, 14th
Image-
century. I'm telling you, bro.
That's it. Yeah, you're on it there,
I
dude.
think though, Knights Templar.
I think you really are, honestly. That kind of
makes the
connects
most
a
sense.
lot of dots.
Yeah.
It really does.
Let's see. Unsolved mysteries. Did we acknowledge the ongoing mystery surrounding the shroud? Well, I think we did because nobody knows where it came from.
Yeah.
Nobody knows where it
It
came
was just
from.
this one night that you found out. No, nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Dotchin here. Let's see. We discussed the shroud's presence, where it is. It's in the
Turin.
yeah, it's in Turin, Italy, at the St. John the Baptist.
And the face,
St. John the Baptist.
That's what it said.
Did it? Oh,
Is
the
that
Veil
wrong?
of Veronica is in Spain, correct?
yeah.
Yep.
Ovidio, Spain.
It says It's in the Cathedral of St. John the Baptist in Turin, Italy.
Oh, it is, dude. It is.
I didn't know John the Baptist had a cathedral.
He does now.
Yeah, dude. They're giving sainthood out to just anybody.
Dude.
You think we can get one?
Hey, bro, we are saints.
We are.
Amen.
I think we can, if we work real hard, we can saint up.
So it is about works.
Always.
Well,
no, we're just
is
kidding.
it?
It's not
No, I'm
about
just
works,
kidding. It's
Jeremy.
not about works.
Don't. We're not those. Okay.
We're not those guys.
We're not those guys. We might
But
do
it-
a lot of things, but we're not those guys.
Well, that's interesting you said that because if it's a free gift, You don't have to do anything for it?
That's another debate.
Well, I was doing some church and doing some work in a church, and I was talking to a guy. He was Orthodox, and
Orthodox Jew,
Greek,
Orthodox? Christian Orthodox.
Orthodox
There's so
Christian.
many
I've never
Orthodox.
heard of that.
Yeah, there's a Greek Orthodox. There's anyway. Keep on going.
Oh, anyway, sorry.
They're
I don't,
Orthodox.
well, you tell me what that means in a minute. Go ahead.
What it means is like they're Catholic. I don't know.
He's a hybrid,
basically.
Okay, kind of like the Lutherans.
But they got all these photos of people. They're holding up the two fingers everywhere. I don't know what the deal is with
Peace,
that.
bro.
I'm gonna get to the bottom of this.
Peace. I love peace.
Do you have any idea what this means?
That's peace.
No, but I did see this on the album cover of Amber Lynn.
Do you guys know what this means?
Yeah. But
No, I don't know what that means.
I'll tell you after the show.
Okay. Wow.
But anyway, what they believe is, through the process of sanctification. You remember when Moses met with God and he comes back and his face was glowing?
Oh, yeah.
They believe that you can get to that, where your face is glowing.
In the presence of God.
I've second count witness that.
Have you really?
Yeah.
The glowing face?
How do you
so
second
my-
account? and
So
witness it?
here's
What does that
how
mean?
my cousin was in prison, and he was in there for a while, and he got saved in prison, and he was spending all of his time, two things, prayer and reading, for hours upon hours upon hours upon hours.
Yeah.
And then my aunt went to go see him, and she goes, you won't believe me, but it was like his face was shining. He was so filled with the Holy Spirit.
I believe that.
Yeah.
But
So he spent so much time in the presence
yeah,
that he was glowing.
I don't know if she meant
Wow.
like literally or figuratively.
I believe that because it's recorded.
I believe that as well. You can tell when someone's like filled with we have that discernment. Someone's filled with the Holy Spirit. You can see the light through it. But what they're talking about is like your face.
Yeah,
Just like-
physically, there's
Like you have the
LEDs.
aura.
You
Yeah,
have LEDs
the
on
aura
your
of
face.
God on your face. Which maybe it's. I don't know. I don't know, man.
what?
Maybe it's possible. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
LEDs face.
Well, yeah, sure. And if that happened and you were working on your car, you could, hey, come down here and shine this light down here.
My thought process, if it's
Right?
in the Bible, I think it's possible.
Oh, sure.
I
We
think so.
saw God face to face.
I think anything.
I would die.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and God said that.
Yeah.
You can't look at me, you'll die.
You'll die,
Turn around, look at my hindside.
He's like, look at
He
my
said, look at my butt.
look at my trail, dude.
dude.
Well, we have seen God. We see Jesus, dude.
Yeah, that's true.
We
I
would've
mean,
died.
we haven't seen him.
I mean,
Well, we
yeah,
will.
physically.
Yeah, we will. God willing.
It's
By the
crazy.
grace of God. Anyway, that was good, guys.
Yeah, I,
think
like the
we
Shroud
got-
of Turin. I
Dude,
think,
we-
yeah.
and it was
Had a lot of theories.
Joe, your research was phenomenal.
Yeah,
Thanks,
spot
bro.
on, dude.
Appreciate that.
I'm glad I didn't have to do any
Yeah,
work
I'm
on
glad
this.
we didn't fire you this morning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, I was
Yeah.
struggling, but hey, we're here. What's
Jeez.
up?
Yeah,
My
that's
mic's
fine.
up.
Yeah, dude. Mic's up, cheeks are out.
Cheeks are out, dude. If you guys still can't hear me, I don't know what to do. I really
I'm
don't.
trying, folks. I'm trying.
Also, I want to shout out to
Oh, go ahead,
a very
bro.
special somebody that we would really appreciate your ghost research. You know who you are.
Dirty Mike.
Ghost research. Oh, I like that. Dirty Mike.
I got him in my phone as Dirty Mike.
Nice.
Hey, make sure you visit our website, www.bottomofthat.com. You can check out our blog for all our show notes and resource material that we do when we talk about all this stuff, like Shroud of Turin. You can see all our notes there. From there, you can also find our social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, X, and TikTok. If you're listening on YouTube, Rumble, and BitChute, and you like this episode, do me a favor. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment so the algorithm will present this content to other people that want to see this content. And if you're listening on any other podcasting platform, please follow and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode when we publish. If you did not like this episode, tune in next week when you might hear Jason say,
I like.
"What?"
I like.
Okay.